What's up, everybody? This is going to be a really short market update because I really need to get out of here. Today is Pokemon Go Tour Day. I'm participating, wife is participating, and she's kind of pissed because I've been getting some nice shinies. Check this out. I got a shiny Entei and a shiny Raikou and two Totodiles and a Natu. So I don't think she got a shiny at this point, so she's kind of angry at me. Because every time I say I got a shiny, she just says shut up or leave the room or something like that. But I gotta go participate and then I gotta go out there and hit up some stops. So if you are participating, hope you have good luck as well. Next thing I want to talk about is TCG Player. I am an affiliate. I have a link down below. What happens with that is once you click that link and buy something from TCG Player, I get a percentage back that goes to me. And what I use that money for is I don't keep any of that money at all. What I've said all along here, and I wanted to be transparent about it, is I will give that back as giveaways. I've done one giveaway so far. I actually have got paid out on that again, and I think it's it was $45 is what I got. So what I'm going to do here is I just want to ask you real quick, just write a comment down below. What would you like? I like the idea of having three $15 prizes versus two $20 prizes. Obviously that five will just roll on to another payment or whatever, but let me know below if you like the two or the three prize better. I like three just because three people can win 15 bucks. I think that's nice. You can get a nice card, pick up a trial deck, help you pay for something in the future. So just write down below. So again, if you are going to buy from TCG Player, whatever you buy, please use my link. Again, all of that money goes back to you. I'm not keeping it. I just think it'd be nice to, if my viewers buy from TCG Player anyways, that somehow, in some form, it goes back to you all. So just do that up. Next thing I got is down here, I have some links. This is going to also be in the video. This is links to Weiss Schwarz Facebook communities, Weiss Fight where you can play online, and Encore decks where you can check out decks. So check that out. I'll put it in the description as well. Again, my TCG Player is down there. The other reason I'm showing this is because I'm at 421 subscribers. I never do this, but if you can, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500. That's the one I wanted to do. So what happened this past week was I literally, for 4 days, I basically worked nonstop for 4 days and slept 2 hours every day. So I would work, my brain would eventually hurt. I would just go to sleep for 2 hours because that, a little rest helps the brain. I'd wake up and then I'd go back to work. That's not even a joke. I did that for the last 4 days. Because of that stuff, you didn't see any videos, and having 500 subscribers would actually let me write a note to all of you that that's what I've actually been doing, that I'm not just not making a video, it's more that I couldn't because of work. But good news is I reached the highest performance level on my raise. They gave me the highest that they could. And that's good. I mean, it's nice to work and actually see the fruits of your labor pay off. But there we go. So if you can, if you haven't, please subscribe and we'll get there. One day we'll hit 1,000, which will be really sweet too. But right now I'm just looking for 500 so I can have that community post out there. Next thing we got, Bushiroad Global Online Store. Not really much has happened. They've always been putting stuff out here, but if you are into the voice actors, voice actresses, then what we got here is we got Our Lady from Morfonica. We got Mane Shindo, and what I wanted to point out here was I did a video on this before talking about it. They fixed the pack. It's now $7. It used to say $70 for a pack when a box is 70, so that is corrected now. Back then, they also had this binder with a PR card, but just this past week, they actually added the PR card back into the actual box that you would buy for $70. I don't know if these PR cards are the same, but this will be the PR card that you get should you choose the box version of the set. See, so if I click on this binder, it says there's a PR, but I don't know which one is the PR card, unless this is the PR card. I don't think so, though. That doesn't look like a card to me. That just looks like a flyer or brochure, but that it is. So there we are. If you're looking into her, feel free to get her. And then just check out the store, too. I think it's always really nice stuff out here if you're into that. Next thing I wanted to talk about. So today, the market update is really going to focus on SPs because I know there's a thing that I want to create in the future about like how I go about buying SPs. And the SPs, I have a sound logic to it about how I go about that. So I'll talk about that in a different video. But what I want to talk about is a video that I saw out there talking about SPs and prices and what they really should be, because I think I'm not, this is no shot at anybody or anything like that. We all have different opinions on where prices of cards should be. This is just really my opinion on it. Okay, so, please take this as just honest opinion versus, like being mean or anything like that. So that's my disclaimer ahead of time, okay? And mainly we're going to look at Mushoku Tensei, and we're going to go back to this. So I'm going to show other sets, and then I will come back to this, okay? So Mushoku Tensei, if you want to see that at the very end of this. So we're going to start out here with Rent a Girlfriend. Rent a Girlfriend we've been following for a little bit of time. This is the most recent set. Obviously, these cards are going for higher up prices, but I want to point out something. This is the reason why I talked about these links, and I'm going to put that up here. Right, here we go. We got these links. And as you can see with these links, we got Facebook Global, NA, and Auction Center I've talked about before. And Global, NA, and the Auction Center, the nice part about these is people sell on here these cards. They're at a discounted price, and you can actually really pick up some good deals in the Auction Center, because when someone puts something on the Auction Center, they might have tried on the other Facebook Global and NA groups, but they're trying to quick sell this thing. So there's a point where some people don't see these things, like they're busy with life, or like you may miss the end of the auction, like eBay. Just think eBay, right? If you don't put your thing in, you're like, I'm gonna do this thing where I put a bid in the last second, you miss it, and then it just goes for a really cheap price. So that's what happens with some of these cards. So when you look at these cards out here, right? Let's just say Sumi, right there, both of these Sumis actually. You see Sumis here, there's no price, it didn't actually sell, right? There's no sales. But this is just one place, right? You could check eBay, you could check these Facebook groups, and you can actually see sales of these cards. But what you're going to realize is there's only so many people that wants this stuff, and that's what I think is wrong about that other video. Like, it doesn't talk about supply and demand, and that's the huge problem with that. Like, I made a video about flipping flipping and making money off Weiss Schwarz, and that was to really just describe to you like how hard this actually is, because there is only so many people that want to play this game. There's only so many people that want to collect this, and I know that there are people that just are finding out about this and are starting to collect it. But just think about it this way. This is the main thing about it, is when there is the ability to do a print to demand, and there may be some sets that slip through the cracks, right? Like you had Data Live, which then prompted a reprint to actually have happen. When you have supply and demand, that means there's only so many people that want this stuff. So you can see out here on TCG Player, this Sumi right here, 15 listings, 0 sold at 183. Sumi, 7 out here, 530, 0 sold. Ruka, same idea. Like you could see this happen over and over again, because there is an appetite for these signed cards, right? We know that to be true. People like the cards, they look really nice, but at the same time, your appetite only goes as so far as how much it is worth. So we have out here everyone's girlfriend Chizuru, right? On TCG Player, there has only been 2 sales at this point for $849 and $700. So this one sits out here at $999.99. Again, other places have sold it, but it's not going for this $999.99. That's the problem with this. Like, you can use like TCG Player as a guide. You can use Yuyute, which is where we compare this to, as a guide. But really, is this like the Bible when it comes to pricing and how we can compare? I've always said all along that there is a ratio. I haven't really gone into it too much, but there is a ratio that these cards go for. Like if you sit here and think about it, you'll figure out like what the ratios are. But I will say this: when you think about taking a look at this website, Yuyute, for the JP version of the cards, there are points where you can double these cards amounts, right? Like right here we have the Sumi 69.80. Let's just say 70. We're not going to do anything fancy conversion wise. If you want to double this and make it $140 in English, then we can do that. Let's just take a look. And that seems like it would be okay, right? This is 183, 184. If I just drop this sucker to 140, do you think someone will buy it? More than likely, maybe. Like you got a fairly good shot at it at 140 to sell this thing, right? We have mommy here for $50. Let's just double that up, make it $100. And yeah, it's definitely sold for that. It's even sold for a little bit more than $100. So you can use these as a guide. And that's why I go through that buy or invest video with all of you. I go through it because, the characters matter, playability matters, the the overall like love of the series. That's what contributes to all of this. And if you don't factor all of that in, you're going to be having huge problems trying to sell this thing because you think it's going to be worth more than it actually should be. And that's what we're having happen here. There's what I meant by Prince and the Man. Think about it this way. Like back in the day with Weiss, why it was so collectible was, for one, we like it. The cards look good and all that stuff. But at the same time, the supply was low. At this point, with all these people buying, like stores buying into it, people, individuals buying directly from distributors and all that, all these different avenues and all this extra product, what does that tell you? That means that even though there was a huge influx of collectors and all of that, if they're picking up product, then that really means that the supply is out there and it's not as many people as you think that are going to collect it. Yeah, sure, there's going to be someone that buys these things, but this pretty much explains why you're not seeing a whole lot of sales on some of these cards. And, merely just doubling the price on this doesn't work because this Chizuru right here, SP Chizuru, $80. If I double it, 160, but we have some sales here for 200, okay? So roughly, you could say a little more than double, but again, look at how many sold. We have 5 sales over this time on TCG Player. That either means a lot of sales are happening on Facebook or the amount of people really wanting to buy this stuff isn't as high as it is. And again, if you're wondering like why I say about the supply, how can I check the supply? Well, you want to check the supply, take a look. You have one case out there, you have 16 listings for booster boxes, and the booster boxes now are $63.31. So anybody that bought it down there for, let's say, $89 or whatever it was. Oh, geez, look at all these. Right? $89, we have sales, 80 all the way. So there is going to be supply of this stuff. I am not too worried. If I didn't buy into Rent a Girlfriend, like me sitting here as of today, I wouldn't worry about it because I knew all along that the supply will be out there. There's going to be people buying it and there's going to be people wanting to get rid of it. And look, I could just buy a case of this stuff. It's just sitting right here, waiting to be picked up. Okay, so there is going to be enough of this product out there. The SPs will only sell as many as people want it. And I'm just going to point this out here. Move on to Poppin Party Roselia, right? We got Poppin Party Roselia. We got some sales. Big lady here, Yukina. We knew it was always going to be big. It's a very playable card. People love the character. It looks really nice. It has a nice voice actress. And what we got here on Yuyute, right? 348. And remember what I said about doubling? 348. This thing is at 451 basically. It only sold one. Right, 367.49. So let's just take a look here. Yeah, 348 versus 367.49, and now it's 450 and no one buying it. So like, yeah, there are big cards in these sets, but at the same time, like how many people are really buying this stuff? There's not a whole lot of sales. If you want to see something worse, take a look at Morfonica and Suilen. Like there's no sales right here. Look, all these are blank, which means there has been no sales. The only one that sold was Tsukushi, and even then, like we got this at what, 104 and 131, right? There's been a sale, 2 sales over basically an entire month. So that's not good. That's not good at all. And you could say like, what's the ratios on this? Take a look at these things. Where's Tsukushi? Where is she? Right here, right? Isn't this one? Yeah. 79.80. What did she sell for? 131 and 104. So the doubling effects happen, the ratios happen. Like the higher and higher you get up in price, it doesn't double. It doesn't do that at all unless it's like some knockout character, some card that really is awesome. So I think it's really wrong to say, you know what, you just take a look at these numbers and it's always going to be that way and people are going to want to buy this because it's limited or something like that. That is wrong. There's people able to pick up supply of this stuff now. There is more out there than ever existed, and points out again that, and I know I'm using Bang Dream, so you don't want to use Bang Dream because it's not as popular. Bang, right here, we got Quintessential Quintuplets, definitely heavily bought into set. There's a lot of people opening this, and you could just take a look. We have these numbers here. Let's just take a look. Miku 298, and what is it right now? It is 999.99, 999.99. Yeah, that's right, 999.99. But does it sell for that? No, it doesn't. Right? Like we look down here below, we only have 1, 2, 3, 6 sales of this card. Right? Just think about that. 6 sales of this card. 625 all the way up through 888, and look at that. This only happened in the month it came out, within the first 3 days, the 24th through the 26th. So even though this is a nice card, people love her, there is a point where people aren't going to buy this. You're going to need somebody to do that. And at the same time, did that person that would have liked to have this, like me, just buy a bunch of cases of it? The supply was out there. Like you can't just say blanket statement, say, let's take a look at Yuyute and be like, okay, that's how much, let's just double the amount, triple the amount, and that's what it's going to be. Because you still have the overall thing about the market, economics, it's supply and demand. Was there enough supply out there? Yes, there was. Is there enough demand for these SSPs at this given price? And I would tell you no. Like, it's not. That's what my biggest problem with these cards were. I remember when I made a video and said that, like, these things are not worth like $1,000. I was saying at best you're looking at $550. And I still don't, I don't take that statement back at all. Like, you can go back and watch that video, right? You have Yotsuba hanging out here at 534. Yeah, it could be the last one, but again, how many people are actually really looking for this card? We have Itsuki here, 645.99. Look how many sold. 2 sold. We have how many listings? 8 listings of these things. Is this price really 645 knowing that there's 8 of them out there? Probably not. Probably down in the 500s, I would, at the very least, because you consider, like, do I really want to buy this right here for $9.99 or buy a case of an upcoming set? That's how I always put it. And it's like, there's sometimes where you just let it go. If I don't get Miku in my cases, then you know what? Whatever, it happens. I just let it go and I move on to the next set. I'm not going to pay $1,000 when I can just move on to a different set. So now moving on here to Mushoku Tensei, same idea. I hope you understand this. There's so many people buying into the trial deck to get this card. This card right here, $1,280. We're just going to, again, use that. No translation of money or anything like that. $1,280 is what we're looking at. If you wanted to buy a trial deck case, let's just say it's $800. We know $800, $900, whatever. There are 2 SPs this time around. We got, I believe it's this one right here. Yep, it's this one. And then we have this Roxy. So there's going to be 2 of them inside. You can see the difference in price right there. Humongous difference, $148 versus $1,280. People are going to be gunning for this. If you bought a whole case of trial decks, more than likely you should get both of these in there. But you're telling me then you can buy a case of these for $1,000, sell this card for $1,280, and then just make infinite, not infinite money, but a very nice profit, because there's going to be people lined up to buy this at $1,280. I would say basically, unless this thing, there is no supply of it, there is no chance this thing is going to be $12. There's going to be somebody that may buy this, right? Like on day one, like as you saw with Rent a Girlfriend, or as you saw with, right here, Rent a Girlfriend, 211, 215. That's when it was bought. That's when it came out. You could say the same thing about Quintessential Quintuplets, right? People will buy this in the first couple days. They're looking for deals. They think it's a low price, or they're just FOMO into the sucker and then they just buy it. But when you take a look at this, how many people are really willing to cough up $1,280 for this trial deck? There may be 1, 2, 3, 4 people that do that, but is there enough for how many people are going to be opening this and selling it? I don't think so. Like, I could be wrong. It's my only opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. But would I rather buy 1280 or just, I don't even have one open. I don't have a page open. Let me just, so, Weiss Schwarz, right? Do you want to spend 1280 on just one single trial deck card, or are you going to buy into Hololive? Are you going to buy a case of Tokyo Revengers and have some change left? We got Don Machi. We have Fate Grand Order Camelot. Those are my questions, and that's why I have like an issue to say that this thing is 1280, knowing that there's all these cards back here on prior sets that haven't done so well. And I know Mushoku Tensei is different. Mushoku Tensei is a little bit different just because of the playability of this set. People may want a max rarity and all of that. But to actually say cough up 1280 for a trial deck card, I can't imagine doing that. That just is mind blowing to me to see. But so that would make it interesting. That'll be an interesting thing to see happen. I know Mushoku Tensei is definitely selling out, but we know Weiss Schwarz and Bushy Road, they are willing to reprint. They reprinted this trial deck in the Japanese format. I think if there's enough people complaining, so if you are not able to get this actual set, then all you got to do is go out there on their Facebook page and just say, hey, by the way, you need to reprint this. If there's enough people that say that, if there's enough interest, they will send out a feeler to distributors and stores that will ask them if they want to actually have this reprinted. So I'm not too worried, since they reprinted the trial deck in JP. If there really is enough demand for the English version, they will reprint it. I can't imagine they don't. And they more than likely will reprint the booster box if there's enough people saying, I need it and I don't have it because this is a strong deck, I want to have it. We got all these Springfest events coming up. So that is the issue. I think for me that to say like you could just buy a case of this stuff and just make tons of money is really wrong. If you wanted stocks, you could have just bought stocks. Just look what happened this week. If you bought stocks, you were easily up 10 to 20% on that day that everything went down. And again, thoughts and prayers go out to Ukraine. That's awful what's going on there. But stocks are stocks. And these are cards. And everybody wants to make a joke about it and all that. It's like, it's way easier to buy a stock and sell it than open a case of this stuff and sell a single card and hope that someone buys it, okay? So just be careful out there. No matter what happens, buy the stuff if you want to collect it, if you want to sell it, but just be careful if you are looking to buy this, because where there is one person that sees opportunity, there's going to be 10 others that see the exact same thing. And that's what we've been seeing with these past couple of sets. Like, you have just so many people that have this stuff on Facebook, that have it on eBay, that have it on TCG Player, and there's only so many buyers that want to buy it at that actual price point. That's the huge issue, is the price point. The price point is way too high, and you could see that being reflected, right? So we have $4.99, $4.75. I saw this card going for $350 on Facebook. And you really think people want to buy this thing at $4.20? And is there a demand at this point for it? We know in the long term these will all do good. Stocks will do good, right? You could just bought Apple many years ago, and it goes up. Long term, anything does good, right? Magic does good, Pokemon did good, Weiss Schwarz does good. These things will disappear one day, and they will go up. But really, are you in it for the long term or the not long term? And that is that kind of mentality about like opening these trial decks to pull out this card, sell it for $12.80. That's the mentality of, like, let's say the short term. You could say it could be the long term too, but for that, people need to have money to actually buy it. So, all right, I've rambled on too long. I need to get the freak out of here because I need to go get some Pokemon and my wife is waiting. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I need to get some sleep for sure. I finished my project on Friday, and that means I keep constantly having projects, but that was when the deadline was. So I made my deadline. Everything was good. People were happy, and now I can sleep. Oh, I am really excited for that too. I've never been excited for sleep as much as I have been now, which is not a good thing, because if you're excited going into sleep, you don't sleep because you're really excited. So I need to be super calm. So walking around, doing some Pokemon, hopefully that calms me down, would be good. And then I'll get some sleep. But like I said, hope you all have a happy weekend. Have fun. Be happy. And don't spend anything outside of your budget. Don't do it. Don't be an idiot. Have a good one.